Good morning, dear students. I was very happy to see that so many of you have done your work so well. The notes written well, the assignments done, along with the question answers done. This is appreciable. Continue doing so. As I have told you, I'll be marking you. Okay. Now, we had begun with the chapter Reproductive Health, and then we were discussing how various contraceptives work. There are different types of contraceptives. We discussed about the natural contraceptives, and now we will discuss about the chemical contraceptives. Now, many chemical preparations are available in the form of foaming tablets, cream, foam, jelly, melting film, sponge that are used as contraceptive methods. Like presence of certain chemicals help in contraception. These can be of two types. One would be certain hormones being taken that would not allow the progesterone to get synthesized long enough, and as a result it would release the endometrium. And the other method is applying some spermicidal that would kill the sperms that are there in the vagina. So we have the chemical methods where spermicidal agents are used. The advantages is they are inexpensive, well tolerated, provide good protection, but then they have their own disadvantages. Now, these chemical methods can be of two types: locally applied chemicals or drugs like steroidal or non-steroidal. Steroidal drugs can be orally taken. They are known as oral contraceptives. And these locally applied chemicals, they are anti-spermicidal, that is, they would kill the sperms. Now, oral contraceptives, these are preparation of estrogen and progesterones. They are taken only orally. They have what they do is they change the hormonal level in the body, and thus disrupts any unwanted pregnancy. So there's a negative feedback. It works on that and helps in control. It acts as a contraceptive. These contraceptives can be oral combined pills of progesterone estrogen, can be once a month long acting pill, can be some injectable or subcutaneous implants. Now these subcutaneous implants keep releasing the hormone in the body for a specific period of time. Injectables, again, these are hormonal preparations which are injected into the body for changing the levels of hormones. These are subdermal implants, silicone tubes. They keep on releasing estrogen, levonorgestrel, and they are placed beneath the skin of arm or forearm, and the contraception can carry on till 5 to 6 years. Among these mechanical methods, you will see that there is prevention of entry of sperm, that is through the physical barrier. They are not allowed to meet. So we have use of condoms, we have diaphragms, then the IUDs, the intrauterine devices. So IUDs can be of three types: normal without any biological agent, active agent. Second is bearing copper, and third one is a T-shaped device releasing hormones every day. The copper releasing IUDs help by the copper ions being released from the IUDs, and they prevent the sperms to move through the vagina, making them heavy. They also act as spermicidal. Then the third one is the hormone secreting IUDs. Every day, every month, they keep secreting hormones, thereby changing the hormonal level of the body. Here the hormones being secreted directly into the reproductive system. Multi-load loop or the copper T. Now these multi-load devices, I told you, they have copper coated they develop to decrease the removal rate or expulsion, and this method shows very less inaccuracy. These are the properties with some hormones loaded onto it. They keep releasing every day, every month. So these are some side effects of the IUDs. You'll find bleeding, pain. There might be infection at times. Then because of the IUDs, at times uterine perforations have been seen when they have not been inserted properly. Then ectopic pregnancy cannot be detected, and in case of ectopic pregnancy, this may cause difficulty. The next method is the surgical method, namely vasectomy and tubectomy. In vasectomy, the ducts carrying the sperm is tied so that the sperms cannot travel. Similarly, in tubectomy, the ducts carrying the ovum is tied so that the ovum does not reach the place where it gets fertilization or where sperms it can go and meet the sperm. In the surgical methods, you will find these are permanent changes. Well, they can be reversed, but then once a tube is cut, to rejoin it, it may or may not function properly. So see, in case of females, here it is blocked so that the ovum released from the ovary does not meet the sperms. Similarly, this is how in case of vasectomy, the vas deferens is cut and joined so that the sperms cannot be released into the urethra. The next topic of discussion is MTP, or medical termination of pregnancy, which is known as induced abortion. Now, a medical abortion is brought about by taking medications that will end a pregnancy. Alternatively, surgically, abortion can end pregnancy by emptying the uterus with special instruments. Talking of history, Hippocratic oath forbade physicians from inducing elective abortion. That is, Hippocrates never allowed elective abortion. He used to make the physicians take an oath to not do an MTP, whereas Aristotle held abortions, saying if performed in the first trimester, it can be ethical. Now, why MTP is required? It is done to get rid of unwanted pregnancies due to casual unprotected intercourse, failure of contraceptives, or in cases of rapes. MTPs are also essential where continuation of pregnancy could pose threat to the life of either mother or the fetus. So the government of India legalized the MTP in 1971, but with very strict conditions to avoid its misuse. Such restrictions are necessary to check indiscriminate and illegal female feticide. And certain pills also act as abortant. They function by inducing menstruation, which checks the implantation of the zygote or detaches the implanted fetus. Now, these are the main topics: conditions under which a pregnancy can be terminated, who can perform, the place where such termination can be performed, and there was a special case where a lady could not keep the fetus any longer during the 24th week, and she had to request the government, and she had to go through legal procedures in order to have an MTP. Now, if a MTP has to be done, termination is permitted up to 20 weeks. When the pregnancy is more than 12 weeks, 2 medical practitioners option is required. and the abortion has to be performed confidentially and reported to the Director Health Services in prescribed form. That means up to the 20th week there is no legal issues, but there is no harm to the fetus or the mother. But when the pregnancy is more than 12 weeks, two medical practitioners have to prescribe that an MTP is required by the mother, or else it would be fatal. Then only it is performed confidentially, and it has to be reported to the health services. This is in short about MTP. Now, talking of the significance, they help in getting rid of the unwanted pregnancies. They also help in getting rid of pregnancies which may be harmful or fatal either for mother or the fetus, and they also contribute in decreasing the human population to a certain extent, not much. Whereas the drawbacks would be, it is misused to abort even the normal female fetus. In India, it is being illegally performed by unqualified quacks and therefore is unsafe and may result in the death of the mother. So the Indian laws have become a bit strict with amendments in 2002 that without a medical practitioner, a person cannot get the MTP done just through unexperienced people and all.